Hey Divine Ones, it's your girl Jay Arias. So I'm gonna bring forth an aura reading on Miss Taraji P. Henson. I love her so much. I think she's an amazing actress, and I don't think she has gotten enough credit for it, really. And I know I have seen some things in the newsfeed pop up about her speaking out more about how actresses and actors are not getting paid what they can't even pay their bills and things like that. And this woman has been around for like a while in Hollywood, and she's been in a lot of good films. And I'm like, why can't she pay her bills? Like, or why is she suffering so bad? You know what I'm saying? But as I did a deeper dive into her aura, which the morphogenic field of someone can tell you so much about their life, about their personality, about the things they've been through, and things like that. You can definitely see that right now, Miss Taraji P. Henson is definitely in, like, I would say, an ego death. And everything I'm saying and bringing forth is my intuitive opinion and my psychic opinion. So use your discernment with me. This is all alleged, entertainment purposes only, la 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 la. Okay, so immediately when I tapped into her field, I feel like, I'm not gonna say like witchy, because someone would probably like get on my feed and be like, oh, she's witchy, which I'm not a witch, which I have nothing against witches, but I don't do spells or anything like that. I'm spiritual. So I feel like she's definitely very spiritual. I don't know if she practices something, if she's into sacred arts, if she is witchy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I pick up on that heavy with her, okay? And I want to say first off that Mr. Roger P. Henson had, when she was born, or before the fame, I can say this, she definitely had a very vibrant rainbow aura, because as I was getting the downloads of her aura and as I was like placing it on her body in my mind and my mind's eye and things like that, I was like, okay, where does this go? I had realized that she pretty much has all the colors. So she does have a rainbow aura. And it was very vibrant at one time, but right now it is very, what's the word for it? It's misty. It's a misty, cloudy, swirly texture right now. And this tells me that she's going through chronic overwhelm a lot right now. So I don't say this judging anybody. I say this to bring light and forth. And maybe this is another reason why I was like called for to bring like look into her aura and things like that, because I am a fan, you could say. I really do like her and I want to see her do good things. So the angel numbers that did come through for her, let's start off with that, was 212, which this is about emotional overwhelm, being pulled inward in recalibration. This represents exhaustion and the need to recenter herself. So 234 came out as 2, so this tells me this is a step-by-step progression. So life is pushing a person into a new direction slowly, not suddenly. It's a symbol of redirection and emotional restructuring. Okay, and then you got 202 that came out for me, and that was emotional depletion, spreading thin, stretched, giving more than receiving. So a lot of 2 energy. So it's about her emotional body, her divine feminine, things like that, harmony, giving and receiving, that balance effect in her life. She's going through many themes like that. And yeah, so let's get into this. So the intuitive drops that I got was like, yeah, I feel like if she's not like witchy or whatever, she's definitely at least open-minded, or she's probably definitely experienced like paranormal stuff, and maybe she is like religious or something, or against that, let's say, or something like that. She probably definitely has like experienced something like that before. I do want to say she did originate from the blue flame. She is connected to the Elohim, and I had noticed that, especially with her speaking out more, she's saying what she can say, but allegedly I do feel like there's certain things and deals and stuff like that, vows and contracts she is taking, where she cannot really fully speak up and tell her complete truth to where she would be able to get her wealth and abundance codes that she is deserved of. Does that make sense? I don't know. So she is having a blue expression surge, so that's that blue flame there. And also I want to represent that her throat center is a very powerful center for her, and also so is her sacral and solar plexus, okay? But basically the blue expression surge tells me this is an awakening of her truth and voice. She is an indigo child, so also with the violet, which we'll get into that, I do pick up that, maybe that is the otherworldly connection, her being someone who is open-minded and things like that would definitely make sense, being very intuitive, right? And then the third eye, it's symbolic of a third eye activation, but since she is like an indigo, a starseed, I would feel like her third eye was always kind of open, but maybe right now it's being heightened in her clarity. So that's what I'm saying. Is she witchy? Like, does she do rituals? Does she, like, do little practices and things like that? I don't know. So now let's get into her aura color breakdown. So violet, this gives her intuitive debt, okay? Again, she into the sacred arts. She has a mystical nature, deep perception, emotional insight. The shadow of this can be overstimulation, overwhelm, escapism, and pressure on the psyche. The blue is about communication and sincerity, so this shows intuitive communication. It's mostly about honesty, logic, calmness, being reliable, and expressing truth clearly, but the shadow of this can be emotional fatigue, being everyone's peace, and feeling unexpressed or silenced, okay? So turquoise came out too. This is about heart throat healing. This symbolizes emotional healing, strength through emotional trials, empathy, and connection. The shadow of this is strained boundaries, exhaustion, people-pleasing, and emotional overload. Teal came out as real. This means emotional truth and breakthroughs. This represents prosperity, flow, creative breakthroughs, and emotional clarity. The shadow of this is guarded detachment, blocked receiving, difficulty manifesting stability, and emotional walls. So pale yellow was part of her original rainbow aura, okay? And it has become more of a mustard color. This is inner child versus overthinking. So the pale yellow tells me she's optimistic, she's playful, she's confident, she's self-driven, okay? She's connected to her inner child. The mustard tells me, though, she can overthink, a lot of anxiety, ego trials, self-pressure, right? Fear of being judged for her knowledge or her expression or her intelligence of her being, her essence. And I definitely heavily pick on, like, there is something that she knows, but she wouldn't dare say because it would cost her career. Completely. Allegedly, right? And then, like, through the throat, around the throat center, I had noticed that she had some chains and locks. So this kind of confirms what I'm saying is, like, either this is like a silence, an oath, a vow that someone has took in a past life, that's followed them into this life, or it's something in this life that you chose to just be quiet about, where it's self-silencing, the pressure to hold things in, emotional suppression, responsibility over expression, right? So then the orange became a really bright, vibrant orange became copper. So this is about sensuality, creativity, and burnout. So the orange was about, is about her creativity, her sensual nature, joy, passion, fun, her being resourceful. The copper shows me, though, that she's going through burnout, rigidity, exhaustion, instability, and emotional depletion. Okay, then the red is about strength and survival mode. Red shows me she's very courageous, action-oriented, resilient, determined, but the shadow to this is survival fear, ancestral emotional heaviness, stress, financial pressure. And then brown showed, right? Grounded, but it's heavy. So brown can be about stability, earthiness, someone who's down to earth, someone who's realistic, about realism, someone who's about their bag, things like that. People who just like comfort, nothing wrong with that. Probably more simple-minded about things, has more of just more grounded, right? But the shadow of this can be feeling stuck, negative weight, heaviness, confusion, fatigue, having stagnation in earthly matters, okay? So I want to talk about the texture, because her texture has changed. It was very vibrant at first, but it has become very misty and swirly and cloudy. And this tells me that she's going through a phase of emotional fog, chronic overwhelm, exhaustion, a loss of clarity, identity confusion, emotional processing, sensitivity, feeling pulled in many directions, and a transition phase. And symbolically, this is about losing oneself mentally and emotionally, okay? She is dealing with a mirror fracture, so this tells me about insecurity, identity fragmentation, feeling undervalued, and self-rejection, which I just hate so much because I love Taraji P. Henson, you know what I'm saying? And with her rainbow aura, like, you could tell that she's a very vivacious, beautiful woman inside out, probably a good time to be around, and she don't feel probably none of that about herself. So, yeah. I'm going to wrap this up. Sending my love and light to Taraji P. Henson. And if you guys like this, if you guys would like an aura reading, all the information's in the bio. Omni-love. Peace.